guys, welcome back to the channel. Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. In this video, we are going to be riding the Yamaha Wolverine X2, and I want to talk about a very pleasant surprise that happened. I did not expect this machine to perform this way in this environment. So stay with us, guys, and I'll talk about that surprise as well as some other good footage of the Black Hills.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right, guys, let's get right to it. So what's the big surprise? Well, you know, these machines are really designed for off-roading, right? Maybe do a little work, you know, that kind of thing. When I was doing the research on this machine, I did not expect to be riding it on the Blacktop as much as I have so far. And that's really the big surprise, is how well this machine performs on Blacktop and how useful it is basically getting to and from the trail. Now, I know that some cities let you ride around these things, you know, you make them street legal and so forth, but when I was researching the product, I didn't think about that. And so it's been a very pleasant surprise. I've actually used it on the road maybe 50% of the time, and just want to talk about some of the things that it does really well. So first of all, the video here basically is about riding in the Black Hills, specifically Needles Hwy, and I guess they're curly cues or the pigtails or whatever they're called. So, you know, it's that famous loop that everybody drives. And if you've ever driven that loop before with like a truck, so my truck is, you know, F-250, driving my truck on that road is actually quite stressful. You can't see that well, it's pretty wide. And where this machine really excels is, you know, it's a little buggy, right? It's like a Jeep, but even smaller. And so it corners really well. It lets you see all the beauty that's around you. And, you know, in the rest of this video, I'm going to show some of that. So that was kind of the first thing that it did really well. The second thing that I did not expect was that the engine braking is really awesome on this machine. So, you know, that's a very hilly area. So you're going up and then you're going down. And I'm not lying here, guys. I don't think I ever touched the brakes. I literally never had to. You know, the CVT transmission, it just seems to know how much to, you know, engine brake you as you're going down the hills. I probably average speeds between 10 and 40 miles an hour as I was going through this environment, and we'll show that to you. But the engine braking was just an awesome feature that I didn't expect. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the cornering that this machine can do. Now, this isn't a sports car, right? But it's actually very good in the corners. You know, some of these, I think, sport machines, you know, I don't have a sport machine, but what I've been told is that they are so plush, you know, on the bumps that when you try to corner with them, you get a lot of body roll. This machine doesn't have that body roll. Now, I think I mentioned in another video, when you get into some extreme bumps, this machine doesn't do so great. It has its limits. But that limitation with a little bit stiffer suspension is really good when you're on blacktop and curvy roads like Needles Hwy. So no body roll, you know, you can take those corners just like a motorcycle basically. So really enjoyed that. And like I mentioned earlier, you can see so well out of this machine, so you get to see all the vistas, which I'll show you. And then I'll just mention real quick a couple things that I'll just say they're annoying, okay? This machine is supposed to be one of the quietest UTVs. You know, that's a subjective thing. We have to wear earplugs when we're riding it. So, you know, what I've been told is that all these machines are very loud. So if you're wearing a helmet and you've got microphones and that kind of thing, you know, the noise is probably less of a big deal. For us, you know, we're not wearing helmets, so we wear earplugs. So just be aware that UTVs in general are fairly loud, especially when you get up in the RPMs, you know, you're over 30 miles per hour, especially when you're, you know, this thing only goes about 58 miles an hour. So you get up that high, the thing's just screaming loud. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is the heat. So this is kind of a double-edged sword. When it's cold, like it was in the Bighorns, that heat that's radiating out of the engine is kind of circulating down by your feet. That feels really good when it's cold. But here in the Black Hills, you know, we were reaching highs of about 80, and you get some intense sunshine. Boy, that heat was a little too much. And so I wish that Yamaha and UTV manufacturers would figure out a way to vent these machines a little bit better. So I don't know if other machines do that. I don't think so. I've talked, looked at the Hondas and so forth. So, having these doors is great, but, to keep the mud off you, but it also keeps that heat in. And so when it's really hot, your legs get pretty hot. And even with the windshield down, that was a little bit of an annoyance. So we had to, stop, take breaks. But for the most part, super happy with this machine. Just loved it in this environment, especially on the blacktop. So if you're researching UTVs, think about that blacktop. And if you want to run with the cars, this machine might not be the one for you, because it's happy at about 45 miles an hour. It does do, like I said, about 53, but the engine's just screaming at 53 miles an hour. So, think about the blacktop. It's not something that comes to mind right away, but you will use it on the blacktop a lot. All right, guys, gonna wrap this video up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about the Yamaha Wolverine X2 XTR edition. Love the machine, right? With everything you buy, there's always pros and cons, but for the most part, I'm super happy with it. It's doing what I want it to do. So wrapping this video up, guys, hit that like button, please. It really helps out the channel. If you like this kind of content and all the other stuff we do with firewood and hunting and just being in the timber, hit that subscribe button, and please send this to your friends if you got some friends that like this kind of thing. Again, guys, have a great time. Have a great time outside, and we'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye-bye.